My sister-in-law suddenly expects me to act like her kid's aunt, and I refused. My brother is also trying to fix our relationship, but I'm not interested. Am I the astronaut? I, 29 female, have 2 older brothers, and this is going to be related to James, 34 male. Sometime around 3 years ago, James met his now wife, Aria, 33 female, and they got married the following year. Aria also has 2 kids from her previous marriage, but I'll come back to that later. Ever since they started dating, Aria has become very clear about her boundaries when it comes to our family. She claimed her previous marriage was a disaster because her ex was a mommy's boy, her ex-mother-in-law was very involved in their lives, and she refused to have the same happen with James. James, I assume, being in love with her and wanting to start a family, basically agreed with everything, so the result was him getting isolated from our family. My parents were never crazy, my mom was never an evil type of mother-in-law, and this can be confirmed by my other brother's wife, who has an amazing relationship with him. To be honest, we would have expected more from James, at least to defend us a little in front of his wife or try to keep a closer relationship with us, but he didn't, so we spoke to him once, voiced our concerns about her being controlling nightmare, and that was that. We left him to do whatever he wanted. Ever since Aria joined our family, our relationship with them is disgustingly sterile and fake. We only see them for certain events like Christmas, Easter, and birthdays, and everything that comes from them is so formal, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but they've never shared anything with us. The only thing they talk to us about is like small talk. How are you? How have you been? Blah, blah, blah. But that's it. A recent example that comes to mind is that my brother got a big promotion and somehow it slipped during the dinner we had. They never mentioned him getting that promotion. It was something like, yeah, now with my new role, my schedule changed a little bit. I tried to make a joke and told him, wow, good job keeping it a secret, bro. And Aria told me it was not a secret, but they are a private family and don't feel like disclosing financial information. Like, what the f***? No one asked about your finances or money. But that's the control part. Don't tell your family they're going to ask for money. Aria's sister recently passed away, and now she suddenly expressed that my sister-in-law and I should be more involved as her kids' aunts. I told her I'm sorry for her loss, but I am only an aunt to my other brother's kids, not hers. She told me this is wrong because we're family, and I mentioned that I personally don't consider her or the kids my family. She's my brother's wife. Her kids are my brother's stepkids, but that's it. And honestly, I barely consider James my family anymore since we are now only related by blood and nothing else. I'm not going to take over a role that I don't want for people who I barely know. Apparently, my words affected James, who asked me if I meant what I said. I told him, yes, I mean it. He asked me what he can do to make it better, and I told him, I don't know. How about you fix 3 years of treating your siblings and parents like shit because of some strangers that entered your life in your 30s? He claims he is willing to try for us to go back to how things were, but I told him I'm not interested. He can continue playing happy family with his wife and her kids. He doesn't need me for it because I'm not a clown to entertain his wife's kids when she feels like it. Oh, damn. That's the end of the story. What vibes did you get off of this, Tater?
It feels like a family who was once close, and then she entered the picture and brought her trauma from her previous relationship and automatically put in place boundaries that were directly from the traumatic experience she had with the first family and didn't even give them a chance to prove that they were different. And so I think OP is protecting her peace in a way, because what happens if Aria changes her mind? What happens if they don't do something right? Yeah. This woman has given them not a single chance to prove that they're good people, that they could have been an aunt for her kids. And now that she's lost something, she wants to replace that, and that it's going to take time to rebuild that. Do you think that OP should give them the chance to rebuild, or do you think that she's right to say no?
Well, she's right to say no. I do. I feel that in my bones. I feel like there has to be some context to James, though. I feel like, James was hoodwinked through this thing, and I either think, yes, she brought her previous trauma into this, and OP's family is paying for the previous sins of her trauma abusers, or that was just an excuse to isolate him for control, time and energy and resources, because hiding the job thing was her explanation. We're a private family. We don't want to disclose financial things. Okay. It's a financial thing. She doesn't want to disclose it to your family because she thinks someone's going to ask for money, which means she wants to hoard everything that he makes for her clan, right? That's the vibe that I got. I don't know if her trauma that she came in with and used to isolate him is real or not. And it doesn't matter.
True. You don't know.
She shouldn't have done it either way. He allowed it to happen. And there's the problem that I feel like you have to communicate with him about, OP. I feel like you have to communicate, here's what happened, dude. You allowed her to isolate you from everyone in our side of the family. And by doing so, we never had the ability to form a relationship there. Like, you not only didn't have a relationship with us, you downgraded our relationship to like an acquaintance. So now for her to reach out because she has a need is just disrespectful. It was just disrespectful. But he needs to understand that he allowed this to happen to himself, and either he's being manipulated or this is all real and he's still being manipulated. But that did damage to his relationships with his family. That relationship is going to take time to repair. And if he's genuinely interested in that because he does love his family, illuminate what's happened, at least from your viewpoint, to him. Explain to him why you feel the way that you do. And at least that plants a seed. And maybe he'll start noticing things moving forward, and maybe things will change. That's the best you can do right now.